Let's see here. Am I live? Let's see if it's gonna work. I'm trying to set this somewhere where you can see me. It's a little hard. Let's see. I might have to get the other. I might have to get the other stand. Look here. I'm trying to make beans. So these are the. Can you see in here? It's a mess in here. Split peas. I'm stirring them around. They've been soaking for a couple of hours. These are like some sweet potatoes. Right here. Ham hock right there. And I've got to cut this onion. So that's what I'm doing on my live. But I need my other stand. Let me see if I can find it. Hot stove. That's what I'm doing today. The puppies have been asleep for a while, so they'll be waking up probably in another 30 minutes or so, and I'll take them out for a walk. So while they're sleeping, I'm just gonna go ahead and get this started, and that way I can let it cook and get get ready, for soup tonight, because it is so cold in Arkansas. It is freezing here, and the dog bowl had ice in it this morning when I went out. And so I take all the puppies out. I had put coats on them and get them walk separately. And oh, it's just crazy, crazy day. So I want some soup because I feel like I need some sort of soup. And what better soup is split pea? It makes really good soup. And especially when you have, carrots and mixed vegetables in it. And you can sip it. I got some nice ham hock. I would have preferred to have some turkey, smoked turkey legs in there instead of this, but I was too lazy to go into the stores. But my nose is runny again. My head feels a little weird, so I don't want a chance going into a public space with COVID-19, just sifting around waiting it to attack. So I just use whatever's left over in the house and make do until I feel better. And so that's what I'm doing. I have lots of onions that I need to saute up, so I'm going to saute most of this onion because I've just got like probably 5 more of these onions just sitting around waiting to be used. And so that's what we're doing. I wanted to also start talking about relationships again because last night out of the blue I heard from a guy that I had previously done a video about that we had fallen out because I saw him with another girl. So he messaged me last night. We talked for hours about the situation till I was like blue in the face, and I was just like, I'm over it. And he said that's not his girlfriend. He said he's not dating her or whatever. So, I just have to take his word for it. But don't, if you're in a relationship with somebody, just tell me. Because my thing is like that was a couple of months ago. Like, it takes so long to message me and talk about it. So he felt like talking last night, so we talked. We video cam, live cammed, he did his thing, whatever. And, cool. I guess we kind of squashed it, but I don't know. I don't have any real desire for relationships. I really still like him. I still have a crush on him, but um, it's not the same because I still have doubts. Like, he's kind of nerdy-ish type and insecure about himself. And I like that about him, and I've been knowing him for like years. And so I don't know if I should have cooked these down more, but they're gonna melt down anyway. I don't think it really matters. They're kind of big pieces, but they'll cook down in the butter. I'm just gonna let them cook till they break down, because onions break down, and then they're gonna taste really good in the soup anyway. But anyway, back to him. you know, he seemed like he's very insecure about himself, and I really like that about him because that showed me that he's not into himself. And you know, he's still pretty much the same with me. Like, I don't like older guys like my age, like 50s or whatever. I like younger people, like 20 to 30 years younger sometimes. Yeah, because I can relate to them better because of the way I am. Like the way my brain works, I'm more into art and art culture and stuff like. It's just hard for me to relate, and then I don't get out much, so I'm working, so it's not like a social life here anyway. I do travel, you know, when I get a chance. Like, I need to get my visa and stuff like that updated because I don't have a passport. I can't get my passport updated sometime in the near future or whatever, because I really want to go to Asia, and I would love to go to Thailand, Korea, and Japan. Like, those would be my go-to places if I had a choice of places to go. And if I couldn't go, I would want to go to Thailand just because I'm so in love with Thai culture and Thai people and Thai movies. And I don't know, this year has been my year of me. November's been a year of me just following Thai culture and Thai movies and stuff. And it's going strong. Like, I haven't fell out of love with Thailand. It just seems to keep growing, and I don't know why. And so, yeah, I need to get a visa. You know, I told him, don't think that I don't travel. If I want to travel again, it's not a big issue for me. It's just that COVID-19 has slowed everybody down when it comes to traveling and stuff, because nobody wants to you know, get sick on a flight going out of the country with COVID. Like, there's no cure for, you know, some of us. Like, we don't have access to the medicine, so I'm not trying to go anywhere. And so I don't know if this guy is like on Fantasy Island, like he just, you know, wants to cam or whatever, or if he really wants to meet, which he keeps saying he really wants to meet, but that will require one of us traveling. And like I told him, I'm not the side chick, and there's plenty of guys in the picture who would easily replace you and are a lot younger than you. So don't think that I'm the side chick because that girl that I saw him with, he photographed himself with, she don't look nothing like me. She's really pretty. She's young. She's an island girl, so, and she's very pretty. And they look very pretty together. So I was like, if that's your chick, what are we doing? You know, and that was my whole thing. He's in his late 20s now, but I've known him since he was 20, and so, you know, we got some years. He found me. I don't go chasing after guys, so it is what it is. Let me just stir this real quick. Take these onions to break down. Do you like the smell of onions and butter? It smells good. I hope this soup turns out really nice. Ooh. I'm getting a lot of messages from Instagram, so it's just making a lot of noise. And some of my little Instagram friends from around the world, I posted some stuff and they're seeing it. And they're all messaging me. I can't talk because I'm doing a live right now on YouTube, so I'll have to message them later. So yeah, like I like dating. I 10 years, like we separated, and then I started talking to this dude some years after that, and he's been in the picture pretty much ever since, like just live cam chatting and, on the regular, being in the picture with me. We have never met in person, but like I told him, I said, if I want to travel to you, I could. Or you could travel here to me, it doesn't matter. Like I've done it before. You could ask the little Egyptian king, as much as I went over there with him. A waste of time. But it is what it is. I really don't care anymore about, relationships or dating. I just still really like him though. It's almost contradictory what I'm saying, but for me it's not that serious, put it that way. It's just not. And for him it's serious because he keeps telling me he's attracted to me, he still likes me, he still misses me. And I was like, well, for the last 3 months, where the hell you been? We could have talked about it and squashed the shit and moved on. I just asked a simple question. Are you in a relationship with that girl? And you could have easily said yes or no. I said, yeah, you did, but just something about the picture just seems like that's your girlfriend. Like, that's just my opinion. You don't have to get mad and run off. If I have a crush on you and I like you and we've been talking for years, why would I stop liking you just because you're in a relationship with somebody else? I would just stop talking to you because I need to back off. Like, I don't want to be in a relationship with a guy who is in a relationship with some other chick. I just got out of that situation with my ex. So why would I put myself in another situation with the same type of thing where I'm the side chick, which I always tell him, like, I'm never a side chick, bitch. Like, get that through your head. I'm never going to be the side chick. I don't care what I look like, what size I am, how skinny, small, with how wrinkled my face is, or whatever the fuck is going through your head. Don't try. I was the VIP bitch. You better go ask somebody. And I can get right back in the game and go out there and be the VIP girl again. All I gotta find is one manager all in my shit. I'll be backdoored into all the bars and all the clubs and all that bullshit. So don't treat me like you can just play around with my emotions and my feelings. I'm not the one. I know how I can get around on this planet. I was here before you. I know how guys treat me when they see me out and about. So you think you're the only one, bitch? You crazy. It's gonna be always a lot of guys buzzing. I can get two shits. Like, I just want to know what's up. If you got somebody, bitch, go be with her. Don't come over here with me. Because I'm not desperate. I said I was desperate with that last relationship. I married in Egypt. And I was in love with him. And he did me dirty like that. So I learned that it's, everybody can't have a happy ending. Everybody can't have a happy relationship, and that's fine. Maybe that's not for me in this particular life. But I can be nice to myself. I can be smart enough to leave guys like that the hell alone who think that they can be a player, and play games. That's the only thing that I was saying is don't try to play me just because you're young and you think you're slick. You're not, bitch. I wrote the book on all that shit. Okay? I wrote the book on it. If you want a signed autograph copy, I can do that. I'm not going to be pawning over you and crying and sniffling and, desperate. If you with some other bitch and she's light-skinned and she's got her, you doing you. Leave me out of it. Keep me in the loop of, because I'm not the one. I'm never going to be the one. Well, none of y'all. You come around and try to play them stupid games if you want to. You get your feelings hurt because I'm not the one. I really am not. And that's why I'm by myself. He was like, I love you and I miss you and blah, blah, blah. Child, please. And who the hell is that girl? That's his childhood friend. He said some disparaging things about her. And I'm like, don't talk about her like that. She's a really pretty girl. And even if she is the way that she is, she's, she gonna do her. She's the girl that you go after. I just don't look, I look like my mom. I don't want to look like, Jennifer Lopez or Rihanna or any of these girls, these little celebrity chicks that these guys throwing these videos and stuff like that. I want to look just like me, like just like my mom, my round little face. Look at these eyes. I don't need little green eyes or blue eyes. I can go right into PicArt and change the eye color. I've learned if I need to change the hair color, I go right in PicArt and change the hair color. I know how to do all that. You know, fantasy anime, whatever. I'm gonna do me. It's just the way it is. Like, I hate to be like so vicious about it, but I'm over it. Like, you don't have to come over and talk to me. Like, you can go on. There's plenty of guys right behind you doing the same dumb shit. Want to play with their little penises on live cam and do all the dumb stuff. And I keep saying, I'm not interested. Like, that really is not my swag. And the reason I allow him to do those things is because I like him. When we got together, it was not about all of that. That evolved in time of me feeling trusting with him and feeling a kind of kinship with him to allow him to do those things because I'm attracted to him and I want to see him, you know, here and there do whatever he needs to do. I'm okay with it. If he wants to be naked, be naked. I like you anyway. I know you. We've been talking for a very long time. We didn't start out, you know, just right off like trying to talk to me online and it's going to be naked cam. I block them. If you come crazy with me, you get them blocked. It's just so easy. Like, just block them and don't talk to them. I'm not talking. It's not going to have any respect for me. So if you don't respect me as a human being, why are you over here? If you have an issue with me, the way I look, the way I sound, the way I talk, or whatever, why are you here? There's plenty of biatches out there on the planet that you can go around and find what you're looking for. You don't have to come on my channel, on my page, on my Instagram, and, you know, say all these things to me and do all this stuff with me. And then when it doesn't work out the way you want, you feel some kind of way about it. Or you want to post pictures of you and some other chick that don't look nothing like me, and then you expect me to sit there and be like, okay. And I'm sitting here from day one telling you, oh, I'm really attracted to you. You're telling me you're attracted to me. We should meet. We should get together and do X, Y, Z, blah, blah, blah. You know, year after year, day after day, month after month. You're having all these conversations with me and stuff. Listening to every little thought in my head, making me feel like you're right lockstep with everything I'm about. And then you pop up with a picture with some other chick. Come on, man, get out of here. Nobody got time for y'all. And so it is what it is. I'm just gonna add the last of these little pieces. They're melting down pretty fast. I should add the rest of that butter. And so it's just interesting. Like, I don't know, like, what the future holds for me as far as, you know, dating and stuff like that. I just don't really care anymore, to be honest with you. And in COVID-19, it seems like people are just more, it doesn't slow them down. Like, they don't have a fear of, you know, getting together and doing what they got to do in the bedroom. And I'm like, are y'all even testing? Any of y'all even being tested before you hop in the bed with these, you know, anonymous people or whatever? Because, honey, that is not going to happen over here. I ain't trying to come catch COVID with y'all and go through that. Like, it's just no. No, ma'am. Don't nobody want that. And so, it's just, it is what it is. Oh, it smells so good. I wish I could smell onions and butter melting together. These red onions smell so good. I'm kind of watering my eyes the once because I have all of the leftovers in the sink because I'm just going to scoop all that and throw it in the trash. I guess you could compost it too. I should take it out to the compost pile because it's just raw vegetables and that's really good for the worms to help break it down. We got a lot of leaves on top of my compost pile. So I'm hoping to plant more flowers. I want to do a flower bed near my carport. I've been burning leaves and stuff around the area where I want to make the flower bed. And I need some good compost for all the wildflowers that, next year, God willing that, we're still here and safe from harm and just life in general. I'm just thinking ahead, staring up these split peas. They get really murky and dirty and cloudy. They've swelled up too. Like since they've been sitting in that water, and they sucked up a lot of water. But they look so yummy and so delicious. I can't wait to eat this soup. And I'm putting leftover sweet potatoes. I had them in the freezer. They're soft already. But what happens is when they get boiling in water, they break down. So they kind of turn mushy and they disintegrate. And the flavor of sweet potato, you can't really taste the sweet potato flavor, but it's almost like I don't know, I can't explain it. A savory kind of like taste they give off in soup. And so I love to add sweet potatoes that are broken down into soups. Um, and it tastes so good. You can't taste sweet potato though. It tastes like a paste of some sort, like you've added some sort of pasty flavor to your soup. It enhances the flavor some kind of way, but it's not a sweet potato taste anymore after in a soup like this with ham bone and butter and all the deliciousness. I've got a vegetable stock that I'm going to put in. I thought I had a beef stock, but it's actually vegetable stock. And so the vegetable stock is going to be part of the roux. And then I'm just going to add um, more like adobe seasonings and stuff like that as I go. And this is just going to have the ham hock because this is basically just a soup stew because it's so cold out. Oh, look at the onions are breaking down. They're breaking down really good, you guys. I like when they turn kind of brown. They turn like a brown purpley color as they break down and all that butter. It's so good. So I just want to know your thoughts on like dating and what do you think about dating, and have you ever dated someone like they played you like you were a fool? Like, I don't care if you're gay, straight, trans, or whatever. I'm just curious what happened and how did you handle it? And would you take somebody back after you saw them with someone that don't look nothing like you, really prettier than you, and it made you feel some kind of way because you thought you were building something over a period of time with them, like a really trusted friendship? Because I always think like you have to be friends with somebody in order to be intimate with them. I know that's kind of cliche because I do have a past, but that was then and this is now. Like I'm a more mature person now, and I don't take those things for granted, um, like I did when I was younger. And so my question is for those of you who believe in relationships and trusting people, especially this day and age where you see men killing their girlfriends, vice versa, girls poisoning their boyfriends, and all this kind of craziness in 2020. Like I've heard so many trans women and trans men getting killed by their partners. And I always say, what kind of relationship do you have with somebody who the person that you trust the most turns around and then kills you? And if you guys haven't been like on Raven's channel, it's Raven underscore Ova. I'm just gonna give her a little shout out. She's been doing a lot of live chats talking about relationships, and I think she really hones in on a lot of things to look out for in relationships to keep yourself safe and know that you know the person that you're in a relationship with. Like, don't just be letting your guard down with somebody thinking that you can trust them, because the very person who you trust is the person who'll try to kill you. And I can tell you from my last relationship, when I was out of the country, I had been visiting the Giza pyramids. The pyramids in Cairo, they're called Giza. And we had been walking all around there taking pictures. I had crawled down my big ass down in one of those tombs and got all freaked out when I got down there because it was just bizarre. Like it was too big, too much brick, too much sand and dust. And then like at the top of it was like a big ass window. Like it was, imagine like, I don't know, like a big ass wall going way the hell up high. You could have probably stack yourself up 30 times and still not reach that window. Like imagine yourself stacked up 30 times and you still are not to where that big hole was. Like it was a big long square hole at the top in that tomb. And I'm looking up there like, well, who the hell puts a window way the hell up there? And it made me feel like it was giants. Like there had to be giants, or like what kind of hell window is that? So I got the hell out of the Giza, out of that particular pyramid. I forget which one I went down in. We saw the Sphinx and all of that. We walked all around. I was exhausted. When I tell you I was tired, I was so freaking tired. We had went to the museum, the Metropolitan Arts Museum. And at night, we got back to the apartment. I was so collapsed. Like I was so fucking tired. And I guess I was snoring, like my nose, I was just cleaning, I was sawing wood. Like I was that tired. And all of a sudden, this bastard punched me in my fucking head. Like punched me so hard, it punched me awake. And he screamed, "You're making too much fucking noise. I can't sleep." Well, bitch, we're in a 2 fucking bedroom apartment. You can go sleep in that other queen size bed in the other room. So you know what I did? I got up because my head hurt so fucking bad. And I crawled to the next room. And I cried all night until I fell asleep. Like my head hurt all fucking night. Like I had a mild concussion. I didn't know what to do. I wanted to fucking kill him. Like I literally wanted that guy dead. Like literally, if he was in the United States, girl, he'd probably be disappeared already. Like I was so mad at him. And I just remember that just, he came that morning, early in the morning, me apologizing. And it was like, I didn't really hit you that hard, bitch. Get out of here. Like, you hit me so fucking hard in the head for snoring. When you could have just easily just went and slept in the other bed in the other room, which is what I did. And I was mad at him for a while. Like, he kept apologizing and crying and sniffing and going on. But, like, once you put your hands on me, bitch, we're done. And I knew that day, like, that was the beginning of the end. Because it was like I never had a boyfriend. Like, I've had boyfriends yell at me before. And I've never had one physically hit me for sleeping. Like, that's something that millions of people do. Like, millions of people snore. You know what I mean? That's a normal thing. And why would you hit somebody that hard? Like, why would you punch somebody? Like, literally hit me in my fucking head. Like, I just couldn't. I still can't believe it. And to this day, like, I never looked at him the same. And I don't look at guys who hit their spouses. And I know it happens often, people fight or whatever. But I just never expected that to happen to me for sleeping. You know what I mean? If you're going to try to fight me for something that I did. I'm not advocating violence or anything, but, I'm in fucking Cairo. I travel 11 hours plus to be with you, going just one way. And just because you're the one who wanted to go over there and see all that bullshit, and I'm tired from walking, you punch me awake. Like, you punch me in the head. Like, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You know what I mean? And so it just, after all I went through with him, I realized I have to value my life in another way. Like, I have to love myself enough to know that I might not have a relationship with a guy, and I have to be okay with that. I have to be okay with it. I might not ever get married. I might not ever have kids. I might not ever have a family life that I dreamed about, like, since I was so young. And I had to come to terms with it. I cried it over, cried it out. I realized that, hey, you got to go in another direction. You got to love yourself more than anybody else on this planet. You got to feel God's love from the sun shining down on you, to the green leaves, to the sparkling blue sky, and accept it. And I did. And once I accepted that, my whole world is not revolved around a relationship, I really started to see the realities that a lot of women get murdered, a lot of women are getting beat, a lot of spouses are beating on their partners, like vice versa. Some men beat up their boyfriends, some, girls beat up their girlfriends. I started to realize that relationships aren't, everything isn't like, crazy things to their partners, for whatever reason. And once I started to realize I don't want to be in a relationship to be abused or sexually exploited, things got easier for me because I was like, well, you know what? I don't want to be. I know because me and my mom talked about it, and she was like, I don't want you to be in a relationship with a guy who puts his hands on you. She goes, I don't like talking about this, but in this case, I don't want you to be with him. Like, that's it. Like, he's done. And he had been calling long distance from there, calling my parents, harassing them on the phone, which they never told me until years later because they knew it would embarrass me even more. But he had went in my phone and got my phone numbers out and was giving it, calling them, call all my siblings and everybody, harassing them and stuff. And you can't make this stuff up. And so, these are starting to really caramelize. And so it was like a learning lesson for me, a reality that in order for me to be with somebody, it can't be somebody else in the picture. It can't not be a relationship that isn't loving, caring, and it has to be a giving, we're giving each other. And so if I don't feel that coming from someone, I can't see myself with them. And I realized I don't want to be a victim, being murdered. Like, I just don't want somebody to take my life for what? Because I snoring, you know what I mean? And to punch somebody in the head for snoring, well, if I really piss you off, what the fuck will you do to me? Like, you're just gonna cut my head off? Like, I really just couldn't wrap my head around it. And so moving forward, I just don't look at, I don't really believe guys. And he told me that, like, he said after me, Emmy, he said, ain't nobody ever gonna want you. He said, the only thing guys are gonna come to you for is sex. He says, I'm gonna put a curse on you. You're ugly. You're not an attractive person. You're a fat cow. He really let the hammer down on me, and I listened. I said, oh, okay. After 3 years, this is I bankrupted my own friends. I fell in love with country people. Like, you would have thought I was a fucking angel coming down out of the sky in that place. Everywhere I went, people were so nice. I'm not kidding you. And they were very genuinely kind people. He, on the other hand, showed his true colors. He showed that he wasn't a kind person. But I felt like, going and visiting the mosque, I felt the presence of God with me in every step, even when he punched me. And I knew I was going to get out of that place and I was going to come back here. And, I told my relatives, some of them, they were pissed off. They want him to come here. They still want to get his ass. And I was grateful that God spared me my life because I could have been just like them girls, y'all see on TV all these times, 30, 40 girls this year alone that got murdered, not to mention all the ones from the year before. But I know, like, when you see these celebrity girls getting shot in the foot by these guys who don't respect them, and these are genetic girls, I don't have any higher expectation for myself because if real women are getting abused and getting shot and getting murdered and coming up missing, then of course these trans girls are going to get the same thing because they're emulating what these women go through. They're going to do the same thing, especially if in those communities women. And it's not a culture thing. It's not just black. It's all over the fucking planet. It's the scariest thing is that it's all over the world. Women get murdered. You know, they get killed by for whatever reason. And so, you know, coming into a space like the title of woman, you don't really read everything that goes into it because you don't expect to be killed. You don't expect that men don't value you or women might not value your life. But there's people out there like that. And those are the ones I try to avoid, you know, plain and simple. And so it's just interesting, you know. He messaged me, this dude messaged me last night. We talked for hours. Like I said, we've been talking for many, many years. Like I've been camming with him for a long time. And we had talked about it this year about finally getting together, like after COVID calmed down, maybe, you know, spend some time together on vacation somewhere. And we were moving in that direction. And then shortly after that is when I saw the picture of that girl. I was like, bitch, I'm making plans with you to meet up with you at some point down the road, and you already showing up in a picture with some bitch. Like, what's up? Like, are you with her? Like, is that your chick? Because I'm fixing to go through that again. Like, I'm not fixing to be the side chick and waste my time. Like, that's just not going to happen. And so it's just, I could talk about this shit every day, all day, because I just, like, it. You can't make this up. Like, you really cannot. But this is the world we live in. And, you know, like I said, he don't live in the United States. So, you know, that's what I said. No matter where you go on the planet, I don't care if it's Europe, Asia, all, you know, 6 continents or whatever, it's going to be the same shit. They feel like they can get away with it, they're going to do it. But I'm not the one. I wrote the book. Don't come over here with that bullshit. You're going to treat me like gold. Like, that's the only way. Otherwise, you're going to treat me like, you know, a blow-up doll. Pay me. If you want me to be on camera and watch you play with yourself, pay me. I have a cash app, PSS Ariel. Drop your coins and I will sit there and watch you do your dumb shit. But don't expect me to sit on the camera with you and watch you do all that freaky stuff. And I have no interest in it whatsoever. Like, that's not my swag. You know, and like I said, me and him, I've been dealing with him for a long time. He is for me, attractive person. He listens to me when we talk. We talk a lot, dialogue wise. And I don't mind seeing him naked. I'm attracted to him. So there you go. And he's attracted to me, he says. So he says, even though I saw that girl. So we'll see. TBA, to be continued. We'll see. I have my doubts, but it is what it is. Like I said, I ain't trying to put myself out there to get hurt by somebody. You know, I'm not doing it anymore. I just don't have the energy for it. You know what I mean? And so, just a little bit. I don't know. I don't have the answers to, you know, what makes people tick, you know, in relationships and stuff. And I don't get it. I really don't. I wish I did, but I don't. I just don't get it. That's why I come on here and chat and ask you guys, because I'm like, you know what? And I don't believe in, like, you know, limiting myself with age or whatever, because it's like I attract younger people. I don't attract people my age. And I know why. It's because the way I am. You know, the way I carry myself, the way I live my life. When people find out, like, oh, you're 50, you're my mom's age. And I'm like, oof, your mom must be one of those grandma types. I'm not. You know, everybody's pathway in their journey in their life is very different. My mom sheltered us in a way to where we kind of missed out on a lot of childhood stuff. Like, we stayed inside, we stayed at the church all the time. We didn't get to go out a whole lot on the weekends and hang out with friends and stuff. We had very limited time outside to go it's like my mom was very strict, and I'm grateful that she was like that. But at the same time, it kind of stunted my childhood. Like I felt like I missed out on a lot because kids that I was in school with would go to concerts. We weren't allowed to go to concerts and stuff like that. I want to go off, spend the night with my friends at their house. We couldn't do stuff like that. So it was a very different experience from what the kids around me were getting to do. So those kids can run the neighborhood and do whatever the hell they wanted to. My mom's like, oh hell no. You fixing to go, like we used to have what they call like a clothesline. Like before you have a dryer, we had a dryer and washer and dryer, but my mom loved to hang clothes out on the dryer and get fresh linen air, outside to dry the clothes in the summer months. And so we would go hang the clothes out there, let them dry. We'd fold the clothes, bring them in. She'll have us do a lot of gardening. We would have to do, we would have stuff to do. Like when she would go out and work in the daytime, we would be at home in the summer months. We would have so much stuff to do. To by the time she get home, if we didn't have everything done she wanted, it'd be hell to pay. And I'm like, I can't be getting beat. And he'd be beating on, beating on me and, whooping me for not getting stuff done. So I tried to do everything she said. And, my sister would just sneak off and go with her friends and stuff. And I ended up doing her stuff for her because she was like 3 years older than me. And she was a bit stronger and bigger than me. So she could beat me up and make me do her chores and stuff. And it was just crazy. Like it was crazy times. So, I feel like once I got 17, 18 years old is when I really started living my sort of kind of coming out of my shell, late. Like I just didn't know what was going on in the world. And then by the time I hit 30, I started to come into kind of like my teen years. Like I was behind. Like I was just a very slow progression of how I was. But I knew, from a very young age that I was different. I definitely knew that. I definitely was more, I could relate more to girls than boys. Like I just didn't have no desire to do anything like boys do. Nothing. Like there was nothing like sexual wise, nothing. And I had three brothers, so I knew what they do. You know what I mean? I just couldn't relate to them, and because there was no internet, there was no nothing. Like there was nobody around other than church and a bunch of black people. So that's why it took so long for me to you know, come into who I am today. And I'm grateful to God that I figured it out because right at 16, 17 years old, I started contemplating suicide, you know. And I tell people this all the time, like, you can't force somebody to be something that they're not. I don't care. You can't beat a person into submission. You can't undo their brain. You can't electrotherapy them. You can beat them to death and kill them. Yeah, you could do that. But how they come on this earth and their imprint on this earth is who they are, and you should either accept it or get the hell out of the way, because eventually that person's going to come into who they are and who they want to be, and you're never going to be able to stop that. Fate is fate, and if somebody tells you, hey, this is how I'm feeling, this is who I am, you should believe them. And you have the option to either help that person, leave them the hell alone. What you don't want to do is try to torture them, beat them, and destroy them and destroy their happiness. What happens is when you're trying to make something not, you're born with a penis, you're a boy, this, that, and the other, but that person's brain is not connecting to those signals that you're trying to give them, and you're forcing your ideals on them. You're just forcing your opinion on them. That doesn't mean that that's registered in their head, because they're gonna wake up every day and be exactly who they are meant to be, regardless of what's between their legs, regardless of what their body looks like, regardless of what you see. What their brain is, what you can't see, is gonna steer them on this planet in a direction that either you're going to accept it or you're going to have to get the hell out the way. Like, that's it. Either you're going to kill them or murder them or whatever you're going to do. But that's on you. That's, you have the option to help people who are trying to find themselves, you know. And unfortunately for me, at 17, I was being ridiculed in high school because the boys didn't see a boy, they saw a girl. Like, people could see me before I could really see me, but because so many people was in my ear, ridiculing me about my sexuality, which I didn't even know what the fuck they were talking about. I had no idea what they were talking about. Like, I just felt like an alien or something, and it was the worst feeling in the world because I just wanted to go to school. I just want to go to school. I went to hang out with my girlfriends and stuff like that. The little girl group that I hung out with little cutesy girls, and the boys would come around and flirt with us. Flirt with us. And I just felt a strong connection with them. And I didn't know. Like, I didn't know what was going on with me. I just knew I didn't want a penis on my body. I had no connection to it. And I still, to this day, I feel justified in doing what I have to do. I got ostracized a lot. Car, my Jeep, everything in Florida for it. But at the end of the day, I'm still here to tell the tale. I'm extremely grateful that nobody hurt me or killed me or done nothing to me, as far as what I'm seeing now. And, you know, you just never know what people go through in their lives in the struggle with, suicide and feeling alone and feeling ostracized is the worst feeling in the world. But when you are trying to fix yourself and feel like a whole person, because sometimes you're being forcing somebody to be something that they can't. It's too hard, and they end up killing themselves. And I was so much on the path, so many times up until I got to the age of 30, and God sent a trans girl into my life that literally saved my life. Because I didn't identify with gay men. I didn't identify with men, period. And when I got around to Florida, working at Disney and around all the gay people, I didn't feel a connection to them. None whatsoever. The only connection I felt was connections to girls and women. Being like them, acting like them, trying to solve problems like them, mentally identifying with them. And that was it. And that's how my brain would wake up every day, single day of my life. Like, that's just, it is what it is. Like, you can't make this shit up. And it's sad. Like, it's the saddest thing to torture, someone who is genuinely confused. Like, people who are mentally insane is called like the sick and shut in, and you see them get shot, like the police go out and kill them. And for what? The Bible says don't kill people like that. You're supposed to help them because those are his children. We are his children. And so, I'm not saying I'm mentally sick or shut in. I'm just saying for an example of people who can't help themselves. When your brain is in control of however you are, however you come to this earth, your imprint, your footprint, your carbon footprint is who you are. And I'm sorry if people can't understand that. It's just too bad for you. That's your problem. But what you can't do is go around murdering and killing people and thinking that God is okay with that. Because you won't find it in the Bible. Find it in your Quran. Find it in your Buddhist temple. Find it in your pagan religion or whatever fake ass religion you have. Find it and show it to me, because I don't believe that. You know. But that doesn't stop people from doing crazy shit. And that's the thing that, like I said, it's not that serious to me. After that guy punched me in my head, and that was somebody I was in love with. Like, I loved him, and he hit me for snoring. Like, I to this day, I'm like, why? You walked me all over this fucking desert, looking at these old ass buildings and shit, and I'm tired. What did you think I was gonna do? Just come home and, oh, it's the good chip lollipop. Let's have, ice cream and candy. No, bitch, I'm tired. I need to sleep. Like, my body's exhausted from being in all these museums and walking around all this old shit and, taking pictures and stuff. So this life is, whew, it's, it is what it is, I guess. So anyway, I'm gonna stop talking. It's almost an hour, and I gotta walk to get the puppies ready and get this soup going. I'll let you guys know how the soup turns out. It should be really good. It's gonna take about 2 hours, so it'll be ready in a couple of hours. So I'm gonna stop now. We'll mull over this combo. And if you have any comments, just leave them below. If I get a chance, I'll go through them. I don't know how many people see this channel. Like, share, subscribe. We're just talking about relationships in general, and how to handle them. That's it. So you want to share your story, leave a comment, and we'll go from there. We'll do another one. All right. Bye, everybody. Princess Ariel is out. Let's see now. I have to stop it. There we go. I think I got it.